I will destroy you, Atreides.
Not today. You're Dune for.
I think you mean Dune, Part 2.
Yeah.
Arrgh!
Yeah. All right, I am very excited. Today we are going to take a look at McFarlane Toys Dune action figures. This is from Series 1, the first part of the Dune movies, and I'm excited. I just watched the second part and it was absolutely fantastic. So I'm very excited to be opening these figures. I've had them for years, I just never opened them. So seeing the movie really inspired me. So we've got the four from the Wave 1, and they've got a Build-A-Figure in there. So let's get right to it. We're going to open up and take a look at all four of the figures, and we're going to put that Build-A-Figure piece together. And let's give ourselves some more room on the table so we could open up our main character, none other than Willy Wonka himself. So he starts as royalty. He's got a strong family tie, great fighter, chocolatier, visionary, and prophet. So really everything about this character pretty much is it pretty much drives the storyline. You really want to see him succeed, and he just seems like an overall nice guy. Now, McFarlane Toys is always absolutely amazing when it comes to the detail, and especially when it comes to movie figures, and this is no exception. Just the likeness of the Willy Wonka's face is just perfect, and then just the sculpting on the body and the armor is just so good, and the elbow joints are really, I like those. They're a little bit clickier, but that means they stay in place, which means when you're going to be doing a stop motion with them, you can get really good poses with them and kind of get lots of fun activity with them. So I can't wait to put them in some stop motions. Hey, it's Spider-Man. Hey, Wonka, leave MJ alone.
Oh, sorry. Now that I'm the all-powerful prophet, I've lost interest. You could have her.
That's kind of rude. All right, well, back to the figure. I just want to take a look at his shoulder articulation as he kind of lifts up those ingredients to make the chocolate. And yeah, all in all, pretty good. What you'd expect from articulation on a McFarlane figure. And let's just stand him up. If he has trouble standing or wobbling, he does come with a stand. I always love that McFarlane puts that in all their figures. And let's take a look at the accessories. So we have Drax's legs here. So we will set those off to the side as we get his other pieces going. This one's stuck in there a little bit. We are trying to get footloose, but no, the leg is stuck. All right, we got it out. And then it looks like he also comes with some blades. So we've got these cool little knives that he'll probably use for cutting various ingredients like mango for mango chocolate or pineapple for pineapple chocolate, or just chopping down the forest as he kind of goes through. What was it? I forget what it's called. A Lupaland. Yeah, to just try to find the best chocolate in the world. And then he's got his machete that he uses for those expeditions. The hand is a little bit stiff, but just working the fingers out a little bit. They're not too soft, so I didn't want to break it. But looks like it does go in. And there looks like no spot to hold the other knives, so no sheaths or anything. So we'll just set those off to the side for now. And these are really thick, beefy legs. These are pretty awesome. And they've got really cool toe articulation. So he could do some dances, ballet, typical Drax stuff. And now we're going to open up and take a look at No Country for Old Men. He, I would have to say, was my favorite character in the movie. I think he was really highlighted in part two over part one, where he just kind of introduced, but really top notch character, top notch acting, and just this figure I can already tell is probably going to be my favorite of the lot. And he comes with the body accessory, and just yeah, look at that face sculpt. Really does look like Javier Bardem. So it's just awesome. I already love this figure. So in the movie No Country for Old Men, he's the one who really believes in Wonka and wants him to be the prophet, believes everything about it, and kind of helps him fulfill the prophecy, including things like teaching him how to ride the giant worms in their land, which I believe they call them slugworths. So Wonka is always kind of taking on the slugworth. And No Country for Old Men could not be prouder of him. Really is that bond between those two, I think, really helps develop both of these characters in the movie. And if you have not seen Dune Part 2 yet, I cannot recommend it enough. Or just the original Dune is also pretty amazing. But I Dune Part 2 is fresh in my mind, and I absolutely love it. So it actually seems like these guys have squishy bellies. Um, I don't remember them doing too much ab workouts in the movie, so that could be actor accurate, but it's not a hard plastic, and I don't think it's the armor is a soft plastic, but it almost seems like they don't actually have a torso underneath, which is probably a cost saving measure for making the toy, perhaps. And then what I also noticed about this one is if you pop their heads off or pull the mask over it, they actually come on and off, which is kind of cool because although it's cool to have them because it's what they wore in the movie, it's also you can't really see the actor's face, and when you have the detail like that, you almost want to be able to see it. So for No Country for Old Men, I actually like them better without it, so I'll probably keep that off of him so we can just see him. And then he's got a cool little knife that he could use for stabbing a good friendo when the bolt stunner is just not nearby. So having trouble putting it in his hand. Same issue I saw with Wonka before. The fingers are a little bit hard, so I might have to soften them up to get the weapon in. And then here is Drax's body. So now we could put the legs on that, which I'm very excited about. We could start piecing them together. So it's gonna be the legs, the left and the right look very similar. So we'll have to figure out which is the left, which is the right. I usually do that by looking at the bottom and see kind of where the inside of the foot bends. And if you need to compare, just use your own foot. Just lift it up, look at the bottom of it, and see where it kind of loops in. And then there you go. You can tell your left and right foot, or just hold the body up to where your body would be and just compare them. You know the deal. So there we go. We'll put legs and torso over there as we piece him together. So far, he's looking pretty massive and looking pretty good. All right, figure number 3. Which is none other than Wonka's mom. And there was a subplot where she was actually the one who inspired him and gave him the love for chocolate that he had. That spiced chocolate. It's got an extra kick to it, and she's there for him this time, just along the way. Makes some interesting life choices, but becomes a very interesting character of herself. Pretty much becomes a very all-powerful amongst the people that they just kind of, ingratiate themselves into their community and pretty much just take over. But they are loved for it. So Drax's sword is very soft. It's kind of bendy, and there's his head. So pretty cool little build-a-figure pieces. We'll just plop his head right on so that he is ready to go. He could look around and he could help watch the rest of the review. He's standing a little bit awkward. His legs seem like they're two different lengths, which all the other characters come with stands. He's probably the only one that needs it, so I'll probably end up borrowing someone's stand so he can actually stand. Otherwise, it's kind of lopsided a little bit, but that's okay. And Wonka's mom, she comes with a knife, the same as everyone else, and a backpack that she could keep things in there, pillows, accessories, um, face tattoo kit, stuff like that. Just want to take a moment to really appreciate the McFarlane face sculpt. She looks just like the actress, just like the character, the expressions, just it is perfect. Same thing with all the rest in this wave, and just McFarlane in general, just always so good with actor and actress likenesses, just perfection. Yeah, trying to get the backpack on her, just with the hair, it doesn't quite fit as nicely as it does for No Country for Old Men. So I'll probably leave it on him and just not display her with it. It just doesn't quite fit her right, and I'd rather it be snug. But she takes care of her hair. She doesn't have it up. She lets it down. It's just chock full of sand. But she's fashion forward and prophecy forward. And for her fingers, we were able to get the knife in there, so she's gonna hold it so she can get to stabbing later, which is good for anyone who just needs to be stabbed. We'll have to go. And she's got the nice toe articulation. Same with all these other ones, but I just happen to notice it. And when you see articulated toes, you just have to wiggle them. It's just something you have to do. I'm sure I'm not alone with this. Or if I am, I don't want to know otherwise. Now we are opening up Aquaman, our fourth and final figure, and also with the arms of Drax. So we will be able to put him together and then see our complete wave one of the Dune McFarlane figures in all their glory. So let's. Oh, there are those beefy arms. And there he is. Yeah, so this is just another great looking figure. You can tell that the face looks just like Aquaman. This one takes place in the sand sea versus the actual sea. So, he's a little bit like his storyline is more of like a fish out of water, but you kind of go with it. And I think his foot flew off as I was taking him out of the package, which is going to hurt his walking, but not so much his swimming. But I do not see it around me anywhere, so I will have to look for that later. And there are some cool blades that he comes with, so I'll take those out so you can use those for, flaying fish, fighting off land sharks, things like that. Pretty awesome looking. And there's his foot that is now missing. I just flew right out of the package just across my room, so genuinely have no clue where it is. So when I'm going to be borrowing a stand for Drax, it is not going to come from Aquaman. He's going to need his stand. And then, yeah, we could see his face under there. And one thing to note about this character is he could speak with the fishes, just like Aquaman does in the movies.
Well, hello there, Aquaman. How's it doing?
Very well, thank you for asking. He's always so cordial with the fish. I mean, he could say anything to him. They essentially look at him like their ruler, and he's just always so polite. Doesn't eat them, I guess, unless he's hungry, but just doesn't just randomly tear into him like a shark does. So, okay. Good job, Aquaman. And now we've got Drax's arms. Plop those on. They are a little bit tight going in. Yes, that's I don't want to break the peg. So we'll just work that in a little bit. All right, Drax is not doing me any favors with this arm going into its socket. So I'm just going to plop those in real quick. And just like magic, there we go. And yeah, the joints are a little bit stiff just out of the package, especially with Build-A-Figures. They're not worked in as much. And as we saw before, the legs are a little bit lopsided. And let's see if we can get this sword in with no problem. Although the fingers are stiff, the sword is actually a softer plastic, so we might be able to slide that in. But these feet are going to be a problem with getting him to stand. I'm not sure if that was done intentional, so he can't stand normally, but he might need a helping hand from one of the other Guardians of the Galaxy. So Star-Lord could help keep him up. So always looking out for his friend. And we'll just throw in Yondu for good measures. So this is a fine-looking crew right here. So we've got our Guardians, we've got our No Country for Old Men, we've got Wonka, and we've got Aquaman. Thanks for watching.